Either, but we're going to anyway, just in case. Cool, you'll be all right. But front stance. Right? So the entire form is front stances. Out of the 24 moves, only 3 of them are in different stance. Double knife hand is in a back stance, and the 2 knife hands at the end are in sitting stance. Everybody understand?
Sir.
Let's go back one dot.
Sir.
So Sydney, that might mean you have to offset onto one of those side dots there. One whole dot.
Okay, my bad.
There you go. One whole dot. Thank you. Give me your form.
Sir.
Your coloring form. Your form by. Oh, we did 2 moves at a time.
Sir.
Let's just jump straight to 5.
Sir.
Oh.
5 moves. I mean, like I said, we're 9 or 10 class days from testing. So it's add an extra 2 or 3 on there because of the Sundays in between, right? But only 9 or 10 more class days until testing.
Sir.
And now you should be able to do these coloring forms no problem.
Yes,
At
sir.
least this coloring form no problem, right? We've been doing this for 8 weeks now, somewhere around there. Right? Your black belt forms by a different story. Doing that whole thing might be a little different, right? We'll talk about that here in a second. But your form, by my count, 5 moves at a time. 1. 2. 3. 4. Now this should be our last count. 5. Back to Jimmy.
Sir.
Well, it's pretty good. I saw a few hiccups there, a little bit. And I mean, counting by 5s like that, or counting by anything other than 1, can get a little tricky because we usually only count by 1. That's what we're used to doing. But counting by 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, however, 6, whatever number you want, right, can help make connections in your brain, different connections in your brain than the ones that you have for the single move count. Might make it a little easier to remember. Now that really starts to come into play when we get into the longer forms. Like 38 or 39, 42, 44, I think is second grade, and then 60 something, 54, 68 for the third grade. Right? Once we get into those kinds of forms, those counting by the 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s can really help make connections that help make that form seem a little easier, a little shorter. Make sense?
Sir.
A little bit easier connecting. Let's do B for the first degree form.
Sir.
First degree
All
form.
right.
I'm gonna, and I know some of you are not first degree in here. Some of us second degree, some of us third degree. Right? We are all gonna do the first degree form. Then we move to second degree. First degrees will continue to do first degree form. We move to third degree. Second degrees will continue to do the second degree form. The first degrees continue to do the first degree form. And the third degrees will stop the third degree form. There's no fourth degree class.
Sir.
1 move per count. 1.
Oh.
Now remember, this and this are 1 move. 2. I don't know if you ever did the first degree form, did you?
I did. I just don't remember because I had to take it from.
But I said there might be a few second degrees in here and third degrees in here who never had to do this first degree form. Keep that in mind. If you're an instructor, it's not a very good excuse. You've come to the instructor boot camp, you've done all that fun stuff, or hopefully you've been doing that stuff. 3. We'll go over a little details here in a second. In second degrees and third degrees, unless you are a high ranked instructor who's going to be judging and testing, I'm not really going to nitpick your little details on the form right now. You don't necessarily need to know this form. If you need to know it.
Yes, sir. I already know I need to know it.
Sydney, you probably need to start. I don't know where are you? Level 2. Level 2 is what level are you? Level 2. Level 1. Level 3. Oh my goodness, Sydney, what's happened? It's alright. I was trying to figure out where your face got so bad. Anyway, we'll keep going. 4. No hard feelings. 5. So it's a double knife hand, but it's double knife hand strike, so it's low. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be low, but it's fully extended. You know what I mean? Could have been up here if I wanted to. Yes, knife hand, not a ridge hand. Calm down. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Go back to me.
Sir.
That's the end of the first section. So that first reform. Now, Cam, a little frustrated, a little too. You have 2 sections. Okay, all right. So then today, since we only have one level 3 in class, what level are you, Marla? Level 2? Instructor. You're level 2 instructor. So you're going to get pretty close, start to get on the table. You gotta start trying to memorize some of these a little bit.
I have an
Yeah, level 4, right?
Yeah.
So for the first reform, we're going to stop at section 2 today.
Sir.
We're not going to go all the way through that way. They'll save a little bit of time just in case I'm going to do something else today.
Sir.
We have 2 more forms to do. Just keep in mind that if you are going to be on the table, there will be first degrees who have to do the whole thing. Your first degree level 1, you'll have to do the first section. It's right there. 12 moves, you're good to go. First degree level 2, you got a few more moves. Not too many more moves. It's not too difficult. And then everybody else is second degree and above, right? Give me.
Sir.
For that first reform hit. Let's do those 12 moves again. This time, 2 moves per count. 1. Remember that was 1 move. There you go. Switch feet now. Or no, I'm sorry. 2. 3. 2 moves per count. 4. So I like to really emphasize when I'm coming into that double knife hand that it's a cat stance instead of just a back hand, right? 3, 4. 2 moves, right? 5. I should have sitting for the back to me.
Sir.
We'll add those in a second, Cam. Chill out. Yeah, I'm glad you know it. Jimmy,
Sir.
3 moves by my count. 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. That should be the end of the form. At least that section. Back to me.
Sir.
So let's jump to 5. 5 moves, and we're at the next section. We're going to do 10 because then at that point you should just do the whole form. There's only 12 moves in that first section. Jimmy.
Sir.
5 moves. 5 count. 1. Let everybody else count for themselves. Cam. Part of the drill is to try and count by yourself. 2.
Sir.
So the next section, if I'm not mistaken, should just be 1, 2 side kicks. 1, 2 side kicks. Done, right? Okay.
Sir.
I haven't taught a black belt form class in a while, so I'm a little rusty on the sections.
That's okay.
The second section is just an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 moves. So it ends up being 20 moves.
Sir.
Right? Do eat.
Sir.
And it won't kill the first 3 level 1s to learn that. You're gonna need to know it for next item. Right? Unless you already know it, and there you go. 1 move per count. 1.
Ah!
2. Go back after me.
Sir.
Forgot to mention that before you moved on. This chamber's on the hip.
Sir.
Does not chamber back behind me.
Sir.
I personally made that mistake too when we first started doing these forms again, because I haven't done this form since I was 8 years old. Right? So we've got to remember that the palm is the one that goes back way back here. The punch chamber's on the hip. One of the reasons why they're different is so they don't look similar.
Sir.
Makes sense? Because even if I have my hand all the way closed and I do this, it kind of looks like I'm doing a palm. Palm's up, right? You got to make sure it starts at the hip and it comes straight, not from here up. Straight uppercut. You got it. It's not going up. Make sense?
Sir.
The palm is going up. That's why it starts all the way back here.
Sir.
Both of them are slow, however. To me.
Sir.
1.
Ah!
2. Bam. Bam. Mr. Wenzel. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. So this one is going to come all the way back behind me. 11. 12. Now, normally, these side kicks would be 1 count, but I'm going to make you do it as 2 separate counts to practice your balance.
Sir.
So just keep that in mind. At testing, it should be 1, 2, one right after the other, not 1, pause, 2. So we're here, right? We just cracked the ankle without what? We caught the ankle, broke the ankle. You're gonna look and go up, side kick 1, low, low. Yep. You look that way. Hands up. Good. Side kick 2 should be as high as you can, whatever your ability is. Now 3, you're gonna land inverted knife hand like we do in one of those two. This is a blue purple belt. Right? So this hand's gonna hang forward. Then we're gonna slide our feet back, chambering on top, hammer fist. Again, I personally made the mistake of when we started doing these again, instead of chambering properly, I taught this. Because for some reason that's what I remember it being. Again, 8-year-old me. I don't know. Crazy, right? So now we're gonna look the other way. Side kick low. Hands up. Side kick to your ability, however high you can. Inverted knife hand. Chamber, slide back, hammer. Fairly easy next section. All right, just the same thing on both sides. Back to me.
Sir.
Let's add 2 moves now. Yeah, always reset back to your dot. When I say back to Jumi, it doesn't just mean go right to Jumi where you're standing. Because then by the end of class, that means that we're going to be like a little bit up here.
Sir.
All right, reset back to your spots. Jumi for more.
Sir.
2 moves per count. 1.
Ah!
switch your feet. Going crazy. It's not a long day. Just gonna keep doing longer. 2.
Yeah.
2 moves. All right, so you do your punch. 3. Also, we're not stepping 45 here. Again, another mistake that I made when we first started doing this form again. Right? Yeah, I'm not immune to making mistakes either. Right? We're not stepping 45. You are going to kind of naturally glide a little bit because you're going to step your back foot up to your front foot. That's going to make you kind of go sideways a little bit. But when you go to take that next step, I should not turn my body 45. I'm stepping straight forward. Make sense?
Sir.
Put my rubber on. 4. 2 moves, right? So we're here. What comes next? 2 moves per count. 5. Where's the other hand go, Cam? For Mr. Wenzel. Thank you. 6. And break the ankle. 7. 2 side kicks. Hold your balance. 8. Inverted knife hand. Hammer fist. Slide back. Hammer fist. So make sure it's a hammer, right? So my top hand goes up, down, not straight to the side to the back. 9. 2 side kicks. 1, 2. Balance. 10. Inverted knife hand. Slide. Hammer. Back.
Sir.
And the easiest way to make that hammer a hammer instead of a back fist is make sure that the elbow points first, then down. Because if I just let my arm swing, back fist.
Sir.
So that's how I always remind myself: it's elbow first, down. As long as you're not doing this, you're gonna be okay. No
Sir.
rainbow arcing motion. Jimmy,
Sir.
let's just jump to 5. Because we got like 2 or 3 more forms.
Sir.
Oh wow, we have plenty of time actually. Let's do 3. We have plenty of time. 3 moves, ready? Jimmy. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Just 3 moves, so we're stopping here. Remember, because I'm counting the 2 side kicks as 2 separate moves right now.
Sure, we're in a back stance here.
6. Hammer fist, 2 side kicks. 1, 2. Make sure they're side kicks, not round kicks. 7. Back to me.
Sir.
6. 5 moves.
Sir.
And then we'll move on to secondary form. Jimmy, say it. Your form by your count, or by my count, 5 moves. 1. 2. 3. 4. This should be the end of the form. You got it. Slide back to me. Back to me.
Sir.
Any advice for him so far?
Just watch when you're landing your side kicks that you land in the back stance.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I'm saying is not landing fully into the back stance, partial front stance. You're flopping down.
Good. One, right? Because you've got to pivot this foot in order to make it a side kick, yeah?
Sir.
Because if I try to do a side kick from here, my toes are going to leave at the round kick. That's what I want to do. So this foot has to pivot, face the opposite direction, so I can make it side kick and not lose my balance. So some of you all are making it a little harder on yourselves. So when you fall down, you're trying to twist this foot all the way. You don't have to go all the way. Just twist it from here back to where it was.
Sir.
We're facing this way, right?
Sir.
Take it up, twist it one way, back where it was. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Because you're actually trying to make it a little harder on yourself by twisting 180 instead of 90 degrees. And other than that, like I said, don't forget the punches. Start at the hip, palm down, and they go straight out. Uppercut to the gut. The palm heels start behind you, up to the block. Any questions?
No, sir.
Comments, concerns?
Choose your chambers either.
The big problem we have with our higher ranks, our black belts, right, is we get a little lazy with our chambers. Because we know the moves, we know the chambers, right? You're still gonna do it. Make sense?
Sir.
So, for example, double knife hand blocks. Now the double knife hand strike, double knife hand blocks. A full chamber for that is twist all the way. If I only go to here, that's not a full chamber. All the way back behind, that also make it easier for you to step anyway. Any other questions, comments? No, no one? Okay. June B for the secondary form.
Sir.
Unless you're a first degree, then June B for the first degree form.
Sir.
And then just go by my count. You all will probably get done for the second degree and the third degree too. So if you get to that last move, just stay in that last move until I say go back to June B. Okay. 1. What hand goes in front of the X block? And remember, first degrees, this is half the move. And yes, it is whatever hand is the same side of the foot that's in front. So in this case, it's the right hand. Or your left hand, my right or left.
I'm saying.
Well, because it's on a mirror.
Well, yeah.
My right or left.
I was like, okay.
2. Just kick. 3.
Or did I? Oh, wait.
Go back. Let's go back.
Wait a second.
Everybody's a little confused.
No, wait, that's my fault. Wait.
Alright, I'm gonna do it with you, right?
There we go.
1. Go ahead, first. Sorry. 2. 3.
That's what I thought. Yep. Okay.
4. So that when you go to do 5, you can aim with the front hand and high block.
Sir.
So it's front hand punch first, back hand punch second, so that you can aim front hand for the high block. 6. Oh, hang on. Low block. And it's only a half chamber. I know you're gonna like try to fight yourself to not fully chamber that, but it's only the top hand chambers for this. 6. Now it's pressing block. 7. 8. Up. 9. Punch. 10. Back fist. That is the end of the first section for second degrees. First second degrees. First degrees, go ahead and finish your first section. There you go. Second degree is only doing the first section. First degree is still doing the first section. Back to me.
Sir.
Once the second degrees move on to their second section, first degrees can move on to their second section. That way we're not all doing crazy amounts of moves here. Jimmy.
Sir.
Whatever form you're doing. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, the reason I'm having everybody go over all the forms is because eventually the idea for the black belt class is that you all can help each other. Right? Because eventually, as you all know, this black belt class can get very big. It's not very big right now because there's everything going on, but this class can get pretty big.
Sir.
And most of the time, it's just one person that you're teaching. Whether that's Mr. Me, Ms. Hinkle, Mr. Haynes, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Estes, whoever, right? Only one person. So when this class gets huge and there's only one person teaching, it's very difficult to try and manage all these different forms. Because there are potentially 5 different forms, right? First grade is a different one, second grade is a different one, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, right? So the idea is, once we hopefully get back to normal soon, we can get bigger classes again, and we can all kind of help each other. Make sense?
Sir.
We are the black belts, we are the higher ranks, the older people, right? So I expect your, I don't want to say maturity level, but your focus to be there. Your ability to listen, watch, and then assist if need be to be there. Make sense?
Sir.
If you're already doing that anyway, you might not even know it. Say that all the time. People watch people around them, especially higher ranks around them. Most of you are the higher ranks in your class, and unless you come to this class, you're already helping people and you don't even know it. People are watching you.
Sir.
You're an instructor, so it's twofold, right? Do me for your form.
Sir.
I'm not expecting everybody to remember all the forms, but we're going to go over 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. I was saying 12 for the first grades. Remember it's all on section 1? Back to me.
Sir.
Second grades, you want to go on to section 2? Somebody put section 3. I don't remember. Does section 3 go all the way to the end? Did you ever decide that, or is there actually a section 3? So there is a section 3?
Yes.
Oh,
There was a section.
I couldn't remember if we started doing the full form at section 3 or if we started doing it at section 4. I think it was section 4. So you don't know how to have the level 4 yet, but next cycle, when you hit level 4, you're gonna have, or whatever you're testing, right? You'll have to know the whole form. It's not that big. Jimmy,
Sir.
put that second section in. So first degrees, I want you to go to your second section as well. Right, which means that this time you all will end first. So the second degree, second section is a little longer. Right? 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 2-step on that secondary, 2-step. Right, so I'm here. 1, 2. 13. Oh, it's 12. 13. 14. Spear hand. 15. 16. Side kick. 17. Double fist block to the front of the room. 18. Fist block to the back of the room. Well, let's go back then. We're having some trouble. Let's go back.
Sir.
Chamber it like normal. Step. Double knife hand to the front of the room.
Last move.
9 block. So that is chambers like we're doing low block, inner form block. Remember that from the last form from a wall round? But you're going to go down doing a low block here. Now the left hand, so the one that's making the circular part of the 9, right? Goes around my neck, goes underneath. Full turn. Knife hand low. Back leg. Go ahead, Sidney. Yep. Back leg round kick. Step side kick. Twin punches. Up. Up. Back to me.
Sir.
Like I said, first degree, second degree, second section is a lot longer. So there's like an extra 10 or 12 moves added on there. A few tips for that last section. If I remember correctly, the 9 block, you're breaking someone's knee. Right? So you're coming through, you're catching, shadow.
Sir.
Right? So it's not necessarily a straight up block. Right? It's more like a catch and break. Kind of more like a Hanzo nose type move. Make sense?
Sir.
So we're coming through, that's why this one comes up and this one goes down. It's more like a hammer fist through the kneecap. Right? The thing, some more tips I can give you. I didn't see too many other things weird about that. That turn after that 9 block is a little strange because you're taking this back foot and instead of turning like you normally would, where you would kind of spin and step into it, although yes, you would still end up in the right spot, that's not the direction we want you to go. We want you to pick up what is your back foot, because we're going that direction, right? Bring it in front of you and land, which is the opposite of what we normally would do.
Sir.
So it gets a little weird there too. Third section just gets even more fun. There we go. Any questions so far on anything?
Sir.
Okay. Let's practice that second section again. This time, 2 moves per count. Give me.
Sir.
That's the form you're good. We'll add the third section here in a few seconds. Okay? Maybe, if I can remember correctly. 1.
I know where it stops.
We're in 2 moves.
2 moves. 2 moves. 2. 3.
Oh, that's my bad.
4. Oh, not yet. You do your double knife hand below, double knife hand block. 5. 6. Yeah, I'd say something went a little off there. So then it was 6, right? So you all should be here on the 12. Yeah. 6 divided by 2 is, or well, 12 divided by 2 is 6. Yeah. Can't do math. Better math. Close enough. 11, 13, I'm sorry. I just said, how did I forget? 7. You were correct. That was 7. 8. I literally just explained that. I messed it up. 9. This. Yeah, so it's double fist, double knife. Double fist and double knife. 10. Double fist, or double knife. Just a second. 2 moves. 12. Yep. Alright, good. 13. Round kick, step side kick, go ahead and finish it. 2 punches. That was what I was going to say. Go back to the week.
Sir.
Your twin punches high need to be slightly bent.
Yep. Sir.
We were talking about that in the instructor class. If I go straight, I'm going to miss, right? Because if I go straight from my shoulders, people's heads are not that big, right? Your shoulders are on the outside of your head, aren't they? Right, so you're gonna miss, right? So they need to be slightly bent, like I'm kind of punching inward, straight in towards the jaws. Not that bent, not 2 hook punches. You know, I'm not like clapping my knuckles together. Right? Just slightly bent.
Sir.
Okay, let's try and add the third section.
Sir.
Second degree form. First degree, we're not adding the third section to your form. If you are a second degree level 2 or level 1, you should stop at that first section. Not bad. That's all right. We'll extra anyway today. Stop at the second section. We're gonna try and go through all the third section. Do we?
Sir.
This is why I haven't seen here for a little bit. It's just like I said, I haven't talked with these in a while. A form is one of these in a while. Ready?
Sure.
1. Just 1 move per count. 2. 3. Front hand punch first. Remember we talked about that? 4, then back hand punch. So that on move 5, we can aim as we step back high. 2 nice. If this hand's turned palm down, it becomes a rich hand. And that's important because either it's in the second degree form, right? You have to do the
Double rich hand.
double rich hand, double knife hand, yeah. That's why that's important, because if it comes through to do 1 knife hand, 1 rich hand, that's not what we're supposed to do, right? 2 knife hands. Up. 6. Instead of crossing your feet, just shuffle. Because what you're doing when you step like that, same reason why you don't. That one would have been better because you step behind, you're less likely to trip, right? So watch. All you gotta do is step your feet together, step back. Making it more difficult than it needs to be. 7. 8. 9. 10. Turn around there, Cam. We'll figure it out next time. 11. 12. 13. 14. And those spear hands, right? So I want my fingers together, thumb tucked on the side. Not out to the side like this, no shark fin. Same thing with this one, no shark fin on it. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. Go back to your
Sir.
Go back to the spot. Your back foot steps forward. Your front foot steps backward. Here we go. I don't remember my 19. 20. All the way. 21. Ground kick. 22. Side kick. 23. Touches. High. That's where you stop. 24. Pressing block. 25. 26. Oh, I made that mistake earlier too. 25. You see Mr. Barrett? There you go. I figured you'd see him faster than I could say it. 26. 27, 28. That's the end of the section. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, sure, but it's still hard to remember.
I want everybody working as hard as Andrew. He's leaving a sweaty footprint. Look at him. He's working hard. Fine. All right. Dewey,
Sir.
we're gonna do it again, so you don't worry about it. Who moves this time? 1. 2. 3.
Other hand, it's on your hip.
4. 5. 6. Should be on the double bank right now, Cindy. You miscounted somewhere. That's okay. It happens when you start counting by these weird numbers. 7. Oh, no. 8. Around 9. Double fist. 2 double fists. 10. 9 block. 11. Low. Side kick. Make sure it's a side kick. All the way. Push out. Or no, that's a round kick.
I'm so sorry. That was round kick. Just.
Not bad.
That's okay.
Step side kick. Good punch time. Okay. Pressing block. Go back. Upset punch. We're gonna swing around, elbow strike. Yes. Double inner form block, jump thing, X float stance. Something like that, right? Now we're gonna step out, upper palm. Oh. Punch. Back. Back to me.
Sir.
I forget what we call that move, because we do that move in another form too. That's not what it's called. I know it's called double inner form block. You know, I know that, but there's an easier way to say it than that. Pretty easy.
Sir.
Move on from here. Gonna jump to third degree form.
Sir.
Okay, so the only person who's doing third degree form right now is Mr. Barrett. Everybody else is continuing to do their form.
So,
We're gonna start with section 1, section 2, and you only have to do 2.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
But I do know the whole thing.
But I will still go through your section 3 with you, even though he doesn't have to do section. Okay. Give me for your form, whatever form you're doing.
Sir.
First degree, second degree, third degree. 1 move per count. 1.
Ah!
I'm just doing the first section. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. So if you're at the end of your first section, go ahead and freeze. 12. 'Just doing the first section for everybody right now. 4, no, 13, 14, 15. Back to you.
Sir.
Okay, look pretty good. We got the second section.
Sir.
No more. Yeah, Mr. Barrett looks fine. I don't think he needs to go over that one more time. I think he's good to just add that next section.
Sir.
Everybody else is looking pretty good. Some of y'all practice your form like 15 times, 20 times by now. You'll survive. We're almost done. Dewey.
Sir.
Probably almost done. I mean, you have 30 more minutes. Ready? 1. Just one count right now, so. 2. Eventually, you gotta do this by yourself. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. Just the first section. Just the first section. Oh no, I'm sorry. We did say second section.
Yeah, you said we gotta add
Well,
something.
it's- I can't help it, man.
It's okay.
Don't worry. 13.
I believe that was. Oh wait, no.
So if you do second section, keep going. If you don't do second section, stay where you're at.
I think I was already.
So Cooper, you only do the first section, right? Okay.
Sir.
14. I got you. Hang on. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31.
Wait. Oh, okay. I was just saying, you just want me to move on, or?
Back to me.
Sir.
And you go to the restroom, sure. There's a hazard about that. Come here, see real quick.
Sir.
The area looks pretty good now. I think we've cleared up a lot of the gunk, the rust off of us. Okay. We're gonna do this by ourselves now.
Sir.
I want you to do your form 3 times by yourself as best you can. If you get stuck, let me know. Or you can only go as far as you need to go. You know, once I am confident in your ability to do your form and it be testing ready, then we can talk about trying to learn some extra credit for next cycle. Get a little bit of a head start for next cycle. Sound good?
Sir.
But for right now, while we still have a little bit of time left, I want to make sure that we're getting all the details we need so we can try and get the highest scores possible in testing. But remember, as the higher ranks, and anyone above senior purple, or anyone above regular purple, senior purple above, if you get anything lower than a 6 on your testing sheet, you automatically don't pass, because you're automatically not going to be able to get a high score. Doesn't matter if you got 4 other 10s.
Sir.
Make sense? Which means you got to make sure that your stances are good, keep going in the directions that need to go. The cast stance or on the ball of your foot. It's some other weird stance, it's whatever, rooster stance, you don't do that in any of these forms. But it might come up. Make sure it's the proper stance, whatever stance we're supposed to be doing at that time. If you don't know, ask. And if I don't know, we'll figure it out. Make sense?
Sir.
Same thing with your chambers. Something that I've been working on a lot lately, because I didn't back when I was a kid, was making sure my wrists are pointed the right directions when I'm chambering so I can do the proper block. Because remember, every hand technique has a twist to it. Doesn't matter what kind of hand technique it is, there's a twist to it. The way you find that, and I would recommend doing this at home, is do the move, reverse it, and then bring it back to where you need to go. So for example, in the spear hand, chamber would be this, right? Technically it should be here. That way I can twist into the spear. Make sense?
Sir.
Same thing with the other double fist block, or reinforced double fist block, right? Palms are up. One palm is up, one palm's in, so I can twist. And as you see, that has made 2 mistakes. I'm still working on it myself. I'm trying to figure out which one does what. What's up?
Where should the back position be, here or here?
Chamber here. you're reinforcing the elbow.
So on the bottom of the elbow, not on the
Yes.
front.
You gotta think about the direction you're going, right? We reinforce this by applying our arm here, because we're going that direction, right? Back fist goes down, in this case, and we're going down back fist. So I need to reinforce myself the opposite direction, right? Thank you. There's a few of them, like that spear hand, where that doesn't really apply, right? Because the spear hand's going this direction, so technically I should be doing some crazy, but I mean, like, it doesn't really do anything. Can't really reinforce that very well, so you just have to stop, right? But most of the time, it's whatever the opposite direction of the move is. Sound good?
Sir.
Most of them. Any other questions? Comments? Or anything? Okay, sit up.
Sir.
If we can get done with this in enough time, because after we're done doing this, I'm gonna set you all down. Me and Ms. Hinkle are gonna watch you all individually, give you a little bit more in-depth detail on what you specifically need to work on as a person. If we can get done with all that before the end of class, we'll throw in some self-defense. So you
Sure.
all will still have to do that. That's it. Exactly why we're gonna go over it, right? And then nunchucks. I will go over what nunchuck stuff is at the end of class. I'll give you some more information about what we've decided to do with that.
Sir.
Good? Jimmy,
Sir.
whatever form you're doing. 3 times on your own again. If you need help, raise your hand, let me know. Ready? Begin. We're doing our form 3 times by ourselves. If you get stuck, raise your hand, let me know. I'll help you. Somebody will help you. You don't have to try right at being this equal. She knows more of the form than I do. I should.
You want them to stay in their last spot on the third
Did
spot?
you do your third one? Yes. Unless your last move just happens to be a kick. then you can do that. But I don't think that applies anyway. What you looking at the clock for, Dan? Clock don't dismiss you, I'm dismiss you. You also do the most form of everybody's room right now, so it's fine, go. Everybody else goes to section 3. Right, Jimmy?
Sir.
Everybody, see?
Sir.
Pull you up in groups. 2, one at a time. Let's say you 2 will be first.
I was gonna say.
Relax for a second.
Sir.
What was I say something? Oh yeah, we don't expect you to be perfect. you're still doing the sections of the form. That's why we have you doing the sections of the form. If we wanted you to be perfect, 100%, whatever, we would just make you the whole form right away. That's how we were coming, right? Nothing wrong with either way, right? Problem was when me and Miss Engel were coming up, we stayed our belt ranks a little longer. We had a little bit longer in between tests because there wasn't as many levels. There was only 3 levels at every belt. Technically 4 at first degree, count probationary first degree, but it gets a little wonky anyway. There's more levels to your belts now. For that reason of, you don't have to have the same form for a crazy long amount of time. They a double-edged sword. The other side of that is, because you don't have your form as long as it used to, it's a little bit harder to get those details down. Those really small details, really fine details down.
Sure.
So we're not really expecting you to be perfect, ever, really. But we're not expecting it to be anything super crazy, really, until we get to like level 5 of that belt. Because at that point, you will have had that form for probably about a year, maybe a little longer, depending on how old you are and age barriers and all that fun stuff. So by that point in time, you should have that form down. Which is why you aren't doing the section anymore at that point. You're doing the whole thing. Make sense?
Sir.
So don't, what I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up too much. Ms. James was talking about that with us in the instructor class. Don't beat yourself up too much. Most of the time, we are our biggest critics. You are the biggest bully you'll ever have for most people. Because we get into our own heads, our little voices in our heads telling us that wasn't good enough, you can do better. All that fun stuff, right? Just try to relax. Not a huge deal. Like I said, I make mistakes all the time. I literally made like 17 mistakes in the instructor class every 10 seconds. Because again, I haven't been practicing these forms as much as I probably should. So I've been trying to practice my own stuff. Right? Everybody, it just happens. You'll get it eventually. Okay?
Sir.
And some of y'all aren't even testing this cycle. Some of y'all have a lot of extra time to figure it out. Jimmy.
Sir.
Your form to your level by your count. Begin. Back to me.
Sir.
So, really only
Oh yeah. That's right. Oh yeah.
and pull the chamber. Don't short your chamber. That's a big problem in a lot of regular attack is you're trying to move fast, a lot of power, and you get fully engaged the arms on whatever you're doing. And not necessarily what you're doing on this move, but just as an example, that's one that's usually short chamber. This, go. That's not a full chamber. So whatever the move is, make sure it's a full chamber. Set your ear, it comes all the way up. Move there, or that move there. Like that.
I should breathe. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
It looks pretty good. You should read.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, good tip. Good rule of thumb is inhale in the chamber, exhale on the strike. There. Even if the block, kick, whatever, right, that way you're breathing. That's why you actually have some martial arts and some forms of Taekwondo where they go after every single one of the moves. Sounds super silly. Sounds like they're trying to whistle or like vibrate their lips in between each form move. But that's what that's there for, is to make sure they're exhaling and inhaling so they don't hold their breath. Not saying do that because I will hang by your ears and drive you crazy.
Sir.
We used to, there was a group that joined us for a tournament once, and every single one of their students did that.
I remember that.
Right? Again, it's just different art, different style, whatever, not a huge deal. That's not how we do things. Okay?
Sir.
Get up, Elias. And I guess whichever one of those two you want to grab.
You're a pulse first.
That wasn't very confident. She didn't even sound very confident either. Jimmy! Your form by your count. Begin. yelling.
That's this one.
Just a reminder, right there they yell. On their way down. Not necessarily. I mean, it can affect your power and intensity score, but yelling. I would rather hear you yell. Doesn't necessarily matter what move it's on. Now, if you can yell on the proper move, makes it better. But just hearing you yell in general is better than not yell. Makes sense. I was telling everybody that the other day in one of the classes, I think it was your digital class, digital class, whatever, depending on the guardian class. I'd rather hear you yell than not yell at all. So if it's on the wrong move, it doesn't make a huge deal to me, personally. Everyone's a little different though, you never know. But if I'm watching your format testing and I hear you yell at all, it's automatically going to be some bonus points for your power and intensity. Because a lot of people don't yell at all. Makes sense? Including myself. I don't yell. I explained that the other day. I mean, a lot of people don't. Mr. Haynes is a huge advocate of yelling increases your power. Yelling also helps with that breathing problem. Because you can't really yell without taking a breath in and out.
Sir.
Right? So it's a good idea to yell in general. Getting it on the right move is just extra points. Sound good?
Sir.
Other than that, I didn't see anything. Everything was pretty good. Good power. Stances look pretty decent. Some of your front things look a little off. Not a huge deal though. Still fine. It happens to me. You're huge. Stand up, Cam. Mr. Wenzel. Start with stand up. And then, I guess go by yourself. You'll be all right. Your form, by your count, begin. Ah! As I was trying to tell you, when your back's turning you like that, sometimes I miss those kind of little details. So a test you would have been fine. Which is why when I'm sitting back there with Mr. Haynes, you see me and him stressing out and testing. Because usually when people turn their back and they do something wrong, we can see it back there, but the judges can see it in front. Right? For humans.
Just
But yeah, that's fine. But then, when the person does catch it and that testing, that's wrong, you're wrong. Like Hamlet. Same thing, it's still a low block, but you also have a lot.
Yeah.
Everything else looks good except for power. Look like you're just kind of walking through.
Low or anything.
Your form, by your count, begin. I don't necessarily think you made any mistakes. Be more comfortable, have more power, make sure you fully chamber everything, your feet are all facing the right direction. Little detail. Now that you know it for 100%, you do it correctly now. Add in the power and those little things that are going to make it closer to that perfect score. Okay? I don't know if you got anything else for it. Just kind of same stuff, just little details. Everybody said it?
Sir.
Still got about 10 3-ish more minutes, so we are going to go over self-defense. Everybody go to the wall, please.
Sir.
And the partner, there's an odd number, so there will be 3. Let's do this. My 2 smelly gentlemen. Partner. My 2 smellier gentlemen. Partner.
Sir.
My 3 lady partner. Just because, I mean, you are their height, but now they see. They're here. Self-defense is like, press it on my shoulders. Somebody's holding against the wall, begging for your lunch money, right? First step is to get a good base. Now, normally, good base could be like a back stance, a front stance, a sitting stance. It doesn't really matter. In this case, it does. So 9 times out of 10, if we got you against the wall, they're not going to be throwing you forward and backward. They might slam you on the wall by the time. That's not going to feel good, right? But they're going to be crashing you around, right? Using the wall from side to side, right? So sitting stance works better in this case. Then grabbing the elbows so they cannot escape, and so that I can have access to these pressure points, like we were talking about in the warrior class earlier. Most time when somebody attacks, they're bigger, smellier, stronger, whatever you would think about, right? So just trying to grab and push might not be enough. You might have to apply the pressure to the pressure points. And I'll show you where that's at if you don't already know. But we're grabbing here for that reason. If I grab here, I can still do that. But now my strong fingers are on the outside. Makes it easier for her to escape than it would be if my strong fingers were on the inside. Make sense?
Sir.
They can still escape. Don't get me wrong. It makes it a little harder. So I grab, I'm then going to use my hips as like a hinge and push forward. And that's why you might need to apply pressure to the pressure point. If their arms are strong and you're not big enough, this push might not work. Right? They might be bigger than you. So you might have to weaken the arms, then push. Then your feet slide together. As they do so, I'm going to step out immediately. And as I am, look, this hip is kind of pushing this arm up. Big steering wheel. That's going to create a break of balance. Right? Breaking the plane. Then from there, throw to the wall, side kick, elbow strike, side kick, knee strike, elbow strike, and you're good to go. Is that good?
Sir.
You could do a side kick, kick in the knee, to do a whole bunch of everything. So you want to see knee strike, elbow strike. Sir. So from here, I'm going to walk around. I'm going to show you where this pressure point's at. In case you don't know, it's not going to hurt, I promise. Here. I'm sure you already know. Doesn't hurt necessarily, but it is enough to make your arm kind of.
I'm trying to figure it out, so I'm not.
All right.
Let's see if I still remember this earlier. Here. Some people are here.
Might be trying to long and like to.
Sometimes you gotta get a little bit. It doesn't hurt. It's enough to get your arm going.
There you go.
It doesn't hurt.
Next time before you do that.
It's kind of like when you're funny. Right? Pretty hurt. I mean, but it makes your arm kind of go. It makes you go all young, right? That's like, oh no. And actually,
Yes.
one of the things you can feel is that, right? Like, I've been pressure so many times, I can press that a lot. They can feel the power. Okay, you can remember. I'll just walk up. You're really not. Good thing, bigger little. That's why.
Oh, she's talking.
Oh, you won't work.
Oh, yeah.
And just gonna pause for 1 second.
Sure.
Remember that whenever we're slamming that wall, that's going to hurt. Right? It's not gonna be a nice, gentle, especially depending on the wall, right? A lot of places have brick walls, like school, brick walls, or lockers, metal, right? And you're not gonna be nice about it. So 9 times out of 10, they'll probably be done after that throw. Because if they don't just hit their shoulder, they're gonna hit their head, this whole side of their body is out. Make sense? The knee strike and elbow strike is just there in case you need to use it. Remember, you don't want to do more damage than you need to do, because then that can get you in even more trouble.
Yes, sir.
Because then people can be like, well, you're a 75-pound taekwondo. Why couldn't you have gotten out without hurting this person? And then your excuse is self-defense. They attacked me first. Nobody should say anything after that. But they might.
Yeah, we'll try.
So you got to make sure that you are watching your control as well.
Sure.
Sound good? Even though that person attacked you, you still got to make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. Got it?
Sir.
Especially when you get to like high school and stuff, and they don't mess around with that. My brother got in a lot of trouble once for getting in a fight in high school. He didn't even punch the other person back. He didn't even touch him. He let that other person beat the crap out of him, and he still got in a lot of trouble. He got in more trouble than the other kid did. Yeah, I don't know how that worked.
That's stupid.
Didn't make a lot of sense. My parents weren't very happy with it. But that just goes to show you, high school don't mess around with that kind of stuff. You get into a fight or situation, everybody's in trouble. Doesn't matter. Make sense?
Sure.
You really got to start, as you get older, becoming high school teenagers, all that fun stuff. You got to start being very careful with what kind of stuff you're doing, how much damage you do to people.
Sir.
Do what you need to do to get out, and get out.
Sir.
Okay? Keep going.
Sir.
You still got like 2 more.
I will hurt you, I promise.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
You're like a bigger person. I mean,
Ow. There you go. Your damage done.
yeah. No, it's actually good with somebody more on the side.
Considering you didn't do the steering wheel.
He's getting bigger.
I can do that.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sure.
See how he did the move? Wait, that arm you lift breaks that balance. I know it doesn't seem like it does. It seems really silly, but it works. Talk about the light on the road.
You don't need to do why are you going to see how many get out. Yeah, I yourself.
I thought it was just- He said, okay.
Yeah, you told me to come to in front of the
Hi,
Sir.
you didn't get that.
doing pretty good. Again, very important details, making sure the grip is correct, and then making sure you're doing the steering wheel part.
Sir.
Because again, if somebody's bigger than you, stronger than you, smelly or whatever, right? And you go and try and move them with just your force, just your arm by pulling, it doesn't work. Really doesn't work. Highly recommend you take Hanmudo if you don't understand that concept. Because that's something that they practice at all times. Pretty much from the very first belt onwards, it's all about breaking the plane, breaking the balance, striking from there. A lot of judo, a lot of hapkido, all that fun throwing stuff.
Sir.
So again, if you're not really catching that concept, it's not really making sense to you, hop into a Hanmudo class. Let them show you some stuff. Even if this is one, you can understand it a little better.
Sir.
So this is not the art of throwing. This is not something we talk about a lot. Nunchuck. I think it has been decided that nunchucks are going to be extra credit.
Yes, sir.
So if you know it, you know it. Awesome, great, cool. If you don't,
You know what nunchuck are?
the combination. I don't know if anybody's actually seen that here or not. It is on your Spark app. I know it is because I watched Mr. Jackson film it. Unless it hasn't been posted for some reason, it's been filmed at least. But it's a combination. It's like I think it's a combination of all the moves that you learned so far, pretty much, just in the one big movement.
Sure.
Makes sense? Kind of like a form almost, just not a full form, like 6, 7 moves, something like that.
Sir.
Any questions on that?
No, sir.
We're not going to go over today because it's extra credit. I'm not too worried about it. If it's not on your Spark app, let us know. And we'll make sure to get it posted. Should have been posted a long time ago. Because like I said, Mr. Jackson has already reported it. I watched him do it. But if it's not on there, we'll figure it out. But it's extra credit this time anyways, it's not a huge deal, don't worry about it. Sound good?
Sir.
Or at least that was last I had this meeting before he said. That was like 2 days ago. So, unless he changes his mind next week, which hopefully he doesn't, considering how close it is to testing, it is just extra credit. Is it?
Sir.
Any questions, comments? A lot of good practice today, a lot of good details. Try and take at least one thing from today and work on. I don't care if that's your form, some offense, some specific in your form, colored rank form, I don't care. One thing, working. Don't ever try to work on more than one thing at a time, because then you get overwhelmed, you forget stuff, and you give up. You get overwhelmed. Does that make sense?
Sir.
One thing, work on. You see?
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Second panic.
Integrity.
What does it mean?
Doing the right thing even when no one's watching.
Doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. Okay?
Sir.
You are dismissed.
Sir, thanks for having us here, sir.
Don't forget, board meeting clinic in like 30 minutes.
Sir.
And then testing not this Saturday, but next Saturday. What's up, Elias? Me.